I'm Aryeh Schwartz, along with my co-host, the great Rachel Galligan, and welcome to Season 3 of the Winsidr Film Room. I know I speak for Rachel when I say how excited we are, not only for today's guest, but for what we have in store for this season, but to the business at hand, the most important part. Our guest today has been putting in work for years now, the 8th pick in the 2017 draft, 2021 Most Improved Player, 2022 Sixth Woman of the Year, two-time All-Star, and if you ask me, the anchor of the Sun, the one, the only, Brionna Jones. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you. How are you doing on this fine day?
Thanks for having me, guys. And I'm doing well. We've gotten into training camp for the last week, and it's been great to be back in Connecticut.
How is it being in camp? Because look, there's been some turnaround in the Connecticut Sun area of the WNBA. You got some new coaches, you got some new teammates. What's that like?
I feel like, we have a lot of new energy. I feel like it's just, with the new players and new coaching and everybody learning the new system, it's just everybody's coming with this new, fresh energy. And I'm just, really excited to be a part of it. And we just have a great mix of players. And I feel like we're going to hit the ground running when we start up.
Awesome. Well, we are going to jump into the film session of this. And for anyone who's watching who has not watched film study, basically, we're going to take you through just some offensive clips, some defensive clips. I'll kind of control the film, but we'll kind of break down what you're seeing, what sort of action that you might be reading as a player on the floor. Feel free to share with us whatever secrets you want, whatever, your mind is thinking in that exact moment. The floor is kind of yours to kind of make each play what it is. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes offensively with a new regime. So this is old film, just so everyone knows. I wish I could give us new film from some of these scrimmages, these preseason games, but I'm not that great. But we'll jump into this film room. And again, just have as much fun with this as you want to. If you want to stop something, just let me know. Aryeh, if you want to share your phenomenal basketball mind and jump in with something really smart and teach us something, please do that.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, perfect. We're going to jump right in with some offensive sets. About 6 offensive clips. I think this one is a little bit more of, you're going to reverse the ball to the wing. I think Candace Parker is going to kind of overplay this. So take a look at the action and then we'll wind it back.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
I love when they remember the play and they're like, oh yeah, I know what's about to happen.
Yeah. Right? Well, they only watched this in film probably 800 times. So take us through what's happening here.
So like on the ball reversal, I saw my teammate Nay, and then I saw Candace jump to the ball early. So as soon as I saw that, I knew I could get that cut back door and not just play into what they wanted me to do and like run into the screen. So I feel like I was just making that read off of the pass and her jump.
Now it looks like this could potentially be a dribble handoff, but is it not supposed to? It's really just a pass entry to the wing.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, it could be either or. Just it's kind of a read. But when I saw her jump, when I put the ball down, that's when I knew I just passed and cut.
And that's so fast.
Yeah, like it all happened so fast, and I think I've gotten better now. Making these reads so fast. Like early on, I was definitely not seeing the things that I'm seeing at the pace that I'm seeing it. So.
I mean, the pace of that read, that looks so simple. When you're watching it to the naked eye as a fan, that looks like a simple action, blah, blah, blah. You just cut. It looks like you're just wide open, rolling to the rim, but also Emma Meeseman late on her backside rotation over there. Pretty cool. Okay, let's jump into the next one. We'll watch it through. It looks like, again, another read off a hedge, and you exploit it. And you're able to pull the defense. Okay. That's interesting action there.
Yeah.
That's something that you guys worked on in practice, I'm assuming.
So this one, on the screen, she's hedging hard a little bit, and
right
DB doesn't. Yeah, DB takes like one dribble, so she's recovering, and I know I have her on my back, so I'm trying to hold her. But also credit to the passer because she got it on time, on target to exactly where I was going for that cut on the backside. So great pass and great read, just chemistry.
Yeah, there's a lot of elements to that have to work at the right time in terms of timing, being able to pass that ball to JJ, pull Stewie out of the lane so you're able to get that over the top pass. And again, great placement there. Love that post-to-post action between you and JJ. Love it.
There's literally nothing Russell can do on that one. Like that's an easy bucket right there.
Right. And that's a credit to just the patience. And to me, again, I know the era is done, but that was you guys playing together for so long.
Yeah, that was just knowing each other, knowing that Stewie has to honor JJ at the 3-point line, had to close out, so I don't have the panes open.
Yeah. All right, our third clip looks like we got a little transition pick and roll action. Jazz does a great job of reading this.
Yeah. So this is just like our drag, like a drag screen in transition. The guards bringing it up, and I set an early screen before the defense has time to set up. So when she attacks off of the screen, and my defense helps for that just a split second, and she finds me, and then I'm behind the defense now. So open layup.
So, and she kind of hesitated and then pulled your defender for a split second. Is this? I'm not sure who this is right now. I'm spacing.
I think it's
D-Rob.
Yeah,
Rob, okay. Is that a backside rotation that, like, again, I know this was great execution on your, but is she late on that backside rotation just a little bit?
She's a little late because usually it's like the guard would bump the cutter, like the bump on after the screen, the guard rising needs to bump me. But she didn't, because she's worried about Courtney coming back off the, if Jazz doesn't hit me, she has the curl back to Courtney. So I feel like either way you have to bump early and get out. But she didn't in that play, and Jazz made the right read.
Okay, so we have some new terms: drag, screen, and bump. Okay, got it. All right, this next one we got another little Candace Parker, Alyssa Thomas. I think you're kind of open at like the mid-range game. Let's just take a look at it. You can walk us through what's happening here. Showing your versatility on this play, that's for sure. And the and one. I will say one of the best things about your game is your ability to finish through contact. I mean, we can talk about you defensively. We'll get to that here in a minute. Right now, we're focusing on offense, but obviously showing your ability to face up, attack off the dribble, the spin dribble, finishing with contact. I mean, you're one of the best in the league in that, in my opinion. Take us through this action and kind of how this all developed from the start.
Okay, so initially, I think AT has a mismatch. She has a guard on her, so Candace wants to go help if AT starts to attack. So I'm just floating in that open area. I think I've hit a couple shots, so Candace has to honor the mid range. So when she closes out, I try to attack her and create the contact, and then spin off and finish with the lift.
And the and one.
Yeah.
It was interesting when we were pulling these clips, and I'm looking through all of it, and a lot of people go, "Oh, we want to see more shots. We want to see more shots." To me, the more impressive part was how quick footed you are on this. I mean, first of all, obviously you have the respect of the shot. Candace isn't going for that fake if you don't have the respect already. But just your speed of getting to the basket and creating a shot that was favorable for you has been, for me, like, I've been watching you since you came into the league, but then to like deep dive into your film and watch how fast you are, I think personally that's an underrated aspect of your game that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, I think for me, I take pride in my footwork, around the paint, and just being able to create that spacing and the contacts I can get to her body, because she's a shot blocker. So if I get it to her first, then I can create the space so I can go up. So I think for me, that's been something that I've been working on, throughout my entire career, and I've gotten better at the last few seasons.
Love it. Okay, so a little bit of I call this a wing chase ball screen. Again, my terminology is nowhere near what yours is going to be, but then you don't really roll to the rim. You kind of fade to the short corner. And then again, attacking off the dribble. Love this action.
Okay,
You're so patient. You're so patient. Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I haven't always been quite this patient. I feel like, as I've gotten older and I've gotten more experience in the league, especially, just being able to make reads and not rush. Like, I feel like before I would have maybe just, ripped off the first catch, but like waiting for her to close out so then I get an even better shot. I feel like it's something that I've definitely grown my game into.
Again, this looks simple, but walk us through it.
So it was just a kind of a she's coming off the pin down and just a pass and follow. So I pass and follow with the ball screen. And then she's just making the read off of the guards on her high side and hitting that pocket pass. So that's just like a quick pass off the ball screen, the pocket pass, like right in the little pocket right there.
Pocket pass, I like that. And you're just attack Han. I mean, no chance there.
Just a close out on the shot fake and attack her top foot.
Love that. Okay, last offensive clip we've got. You're working a little bit off the lane a little bit. You're right out here, maybe step or two off the lane line. Again, just your patience. Love this play. Again, I'll play it through. I start talking too much, but just this little fake pass that you do to get the defense to hesitate in a split second allows you to spin baseline and attack, finishing on the other end. Talk us through this one.
So this one, probably initially I could probably be a little further out. If coach was watching, he probably wanted me a little further out on the initial, just to have, so they can have space. But then after they finish out the play, I get the catch on the block, and I'm just reading if the double team's coming. If the double team's not coming, the little pass fake just, makes her freeze for a second, and then I can spin off of her.
Real quick, in those plays, like, how aware are you of the different boundary lines? Like, are you paying attention to how close you are to the baseline in that, or you're more focused on something else?
I'm more focused on something else. I feel like it's more of a feeling, like you can, like when I'm down in the paint area, like I kind of know where I am. I feel like it's not very often that I'm like lost in the space of where I'm at on the floor.
Are you more comfortable going over your right shoulder or your left? Because I'm watching your film and I can't even tell, which is
I'm kind of comfortable going over both. So I feel like there's not really a one way or the other. I feel like whatever the defense is giving me is what I'm trying to read it.
Awesome. Love this play.
I gotta ask, just like watching your film on offense, I just feel bad for the players who have to go up against you and Alyssa Thomas, and like whoever you're going up against should get like a sponsorship deal with ice packs or something, because y'all are some bruisers. Like, it's gonna be a fun season.
But it goes both ways. I feel like I'm getting just as much as I'm giving. So
all right, let's switch some gears here. Defense, which love it. It's interesting. I have a really good relationship with Brandy Poole, who I think you know exceptionally well.
Yes.
And we're talking about this. I was like, because I was a post player, I was a post coach. So this is actually like, I'm in heaven right now having this conversation with you, but I can't even I'm nowhere near Brandy's knowledge, but we were just talking about you and some of the things that you do. And she was like, that she was the anchor of our defense. And her reads, her ability to hedge, how smart you were on the defensive end of the floor. Before we jump into these clips, defensively, how do you approach the game? Because a lot of times, outside of someone who's just like a sheer shot blocker, which you can do that, like there's not a lot of credit given to a post player in terms of timing on a hedge, timing on being able to ice, trapping, things like that. Defensively, has this always been something that you've been like super locked in on and really gotten?
I feel like playing at Maryland, we did a lot of hedging and playing man-to-man defense, and I learned a lot of different rotations and things. But I definitely got a lot more faster and quicker at making the reads, in the league. So I think just always being conscious of like, I know I'm not the quickest or the fastest player, so having to be there early or make sure I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at the right time, so that I don't get that extra foul for being late, and so I can give my guard that help. So for me, it's just about being aware and being there early if I have to, because I know I'm not the quickest, and like if I'm late, I'm probably gonna get a foul.
Well, we're gonna I hope Sabrina doesn't watch this, because we're gonna get her exposed a little bit through this film room a couple times. But this first one looks like we're in a little bit of a horn set, up at the top. She kind of comes off it. I'm assuming you're hedging. What do you call that when you're kind of mirroring it to that magnitude?
Okay, so for this one, it's just kind of we call it a cup. So it's just like a little show. If my person was rolling, I would stay with her. Like I have to stay at the line of the screener. So like if Dolson was to roll on this, I'd have to, stay the line that she's on. So as she's rolling, I'm just staying with her, so that if T gets back in front, then I get back to mine. But since Sabrina keeps attacking me, T's on her hip, then I knew that I could close out, because it looked like she was about to pull up. So I feel like that's when I took that step forward, knowing that T was on her hip. And Dolson.
And obviously T's not going under this screen, clearly.
Yeah. So you gotta go over.
Gotta go over. So again, super simple action. You see a lot of horns set in the WNBA. But again, you just with your spacing and your timing and just reading what Sabrina's doing is so fascinating. I can't believe she kind of walked right into that one, but great action there.
You didn't even leave your feet.
But also, if I stepped up any sooner, I feel like she would have just hesitated and went around me. So it's definitely a timing thing.
Good point. Okay, so this one, you're playing a little bit behind in the post, but hard on the left side, and then you kind of poke the ball out along on the right side. Clearly, this is a personnel thing. You're guarding NECA. First and foremost, let's start there. You were told to kind of play her that way behind, in that way in the post?
I feel like I tend to 3/4 behind. I feel like I have better position when I can push out players and get them further, using my strength to push them out and get them further away from the basket. I feel like that's in my advantage. Rather than fronting, like they throw it over top, then I'm kind of dead. I'm not like a jumper. So I feel like for me, it's just easier to use my strength to push them out and create that space. And then I feel like I was recovering at first, so that's why I ended up behind a little bit. Well, maybe not. Maybe I probably should have been more 3/4. But so once the pass goes in, I was just trying to make it hard. Like if I play on one side, they're probably going to pass to the other hand. So if I can jump to the other hand pretty quickly and get the tip, it's kind of baiting them into that. I know they got to pass it that way because that's the way she wants it because I'm playing on her other side. So if I can jump to that side real quick and get the tip, I think that's what I was thinking. Like as the ball's in the air.
And here's my thing. In the college game, I feel like half the time the refs would call that a foul. That's not a foul in the WNBA, right?
Yeah, most of the time it's not.
Okay. Let's watch.
I've gotten a couple times where they're like, you went through the body kind of thing, but I usually try to like get around, you know.
I was gonna say I'm not trying to get you fined or anything, so like.
Let's not get into the referees on this show. Okay. This one, this next clip we're getting into, it looks like it. I call it let's watch the beautiful transition attack there. There you go. Clearly that's how you guys had so much success, was being able to allow your defense to fuel your offense. This one looks like a little bit of I call it a double stagger screen. You kind of hedge on the backside. And again, such active hands, reading the eyes of the passer, being able to make a deflection, through a little bit. And these are interesting plays because you have to talk about how you're going to defend the first screener and then how you're going to defend that second screener, depending on the personnel, correct?
Yes. So like, so yeah, it's a double stagger. And I think we talked about like, cause it's so low, not to completely hard hedge on the second one. We're fighting over the top with the guard and just being help if she turns the corner. And then, so my recovery is just reading the guard. So she turned back, to try to hit Shakira on the cut. So I was just reading her eyes and, you know, had to play. I had to go 100% on that because if I give up that pass, then she has a layup. So it's either I have it or I don't. So it's just a read.
Yeah. So Aryeh, you were talking to me about this pass before we jumped on the show, and you were like talking about how like was getting back, that's that recovery we were talking about. And again, just being able to have a hand in that passing lane. Like her teammates know, they all know how she's going to be playing the screen. Yeah. And so they do have the help side that's there, but she gets back super fast. And obviously the active hands pay off.
Yeah. Well, like one of the things that I think is for fans who aren't elite basketball minds, like the two other people besides me on this video, but like so often you think, okay, we see someone get their hands in a passing lane, disrupt the pass, get a turnover. Great, cool, great. But so often if you don't get your hand on the ball, then you're out of position and that's an easy bucket. So for somebody like you, who I see so often getting their hands in the right position, making plays like this, getting the ball in transition, like what is it as simple as you're thinking about it? Is it, you know, what players you're going up against or who has your back? Like what goes through your mind in those moments?
I mean, I think it's just a timing and a trust. So I trust that Nia's gonna get back in front. So then I know as soon as she's back in front, that's when I know I have to, you know, recover to my player. And I also trust that I have my help side there. So even if I am a little late, Joy's gonna be the next person to help me. And then I would peel off and take hers if she took mine. So I feel like it's just, you know, having a trust in the players that you're playing with and being able to know that even if you are a little late or if you, you know, miss that steal, that you're gonna have help on the backside. And that allows me to, you know, go 100% and get those deflections.
I'm not real sure what happened at the beginning of this play, but for some reason you're out of position here, and then Dolson blows by you on the closeout, which is crazy awesome to watch. But it's hard the way the film is cut. I'm not sure if you were whatever, but Dolson kind of gets back. So you're scrambling at this point, right? You're just trying to get back in position, driving her down into your help defense. But you guys were able to recover on the backside and end up making a great play and a great stop on this. Let me replay it again because I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay, so it looks like I might have been either trapping Sabrina early or just, you know, giving Jazz help because Sabrina, you know, she hit tough shots. So I feel like that's where initially I was out of position. And then on the recovery, Dolson, you know, saw that I was recovering, you know, super high and she attacked me. And then so JJ sees that I've gotten blown by, so she gives me help, and Nay's the drop person. So like as soon as the big helps, Nay's got to be the drop person to get the help. You know, ideally that's her steal. But you know, I see Howard's gonna go straight up, so I try to, you know, go up and get the block, and she gets it back and finishes, unfortunately for us.
That's a really
shot clock didn't count though. Shot clock didn't count.
Shot clock.
Was it shot clock? Okay. It's a really interesting play because again, like defense is not always just pretty. I mean, we've talked about timing up until this point a lot, but you know, being a half a second too late kind of happens a couple times in this play as it develops. Like you said, that drop person, she could have been able to have that steal, was half a second too late. But you were able to recover, come down, and make a huge play. I mean, just a lot of, and then even just being able to drive her down the lane line and continue to like be on her hip so she's not just completely blowing by you. Obviously, JJ, great job of stepping over, a little late on that backside rotation, but then you come over and just swat it, game over.
Yeah, so but again, I said it's like a trust thing. Like I know I got blown by, JJ's got my help, and Nate's got her help. So I feel like it's just a trust knowing that your teammates are back there giving you help and that you can go 100%. You know, I gotta attack Dawson with that closeout because she can shoot the three. So I feel like we just know each other and knowing personnel and things. I feel like that's the biggest part.
Well, and go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to know, like, before we get into this next clip, what are the things that when you're doing film study of other players prepping for a game, like, what are the things you're looking for? Are you looking for, oh, when they do that double hop step, whatever, they're always going left? Are you thinking percentage wise they like to shoot from this spot? Like, what are the details you look for that kind of you start licking your lips, rubbing your hands like, all right, I got this?
As far as like for post players, first it's like which direction, like when they catch the ball on the block, which shoulder they want to go over first. Like do they prefer to go right hand, left hand, right shoulder, left shoulder? Second, are they a shooter? Like if I'm in help side, do I have to be ready to close out to the three, or are they just more of a mid range so I can short close out, you know, and give my guard a little bit more help? And then just you know, on the drive, do they prefer to drive left or prefer to drive right? Because you know, there's some right-handers that they prefer to drive left. So just, you know, knowing the scout through and through, I feel like that's important. Because at the end of the day, even when plays break down, the players go back to their tendencies.
Okay, love it. I got one more question with this last play before we move on. In WNBA, Crystal Thomas is a good friend of mine. I remember one time she was trying to explain to me the verticality rule. And again, my background is very much in college. I never was good to play anywhere near the level you're playing at. But can you walk me through, because clearly you wall up, you block the shot, but then you wall up at the end here, but you're going then straight up. And isn't there, what's the rule like if you are kind of breaking that plane?
Right, so like the rule is like if you're down like any amount, they will call the foul. Even if you're up top and you break your wrist, they call a foul every time. So you have to be completely vertical, hand straight up. So like sometimes what really gets you is like sometimes you'll be straight up and then they'll like go into your body and that, you know, cause you to like collapse a little bit and come on top and get that foul. So it's, you know, creating that contact, you really got to wall up and stay straight up as possible, even when you're taking that hit. It's tough down there.
That's a total Diana Taurasi move, like knowing, hit him in the stomach, make him tilt a little bit, get the foul.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind because naturally your body's going to collapse a little bit when you're hit, you know?
That one's tough every time. And it's like, you know, you went into it straight up and you know they created the contact. I think they've got a little bit better of like just making it a no call, like when the offensive player creates the contact first, but it's still a tough call sometimes because you are collapsing, you are over top technically breaking the plane, but it's tough.
So, okay, we've got, what do we got more? We've got three more. So a little help side defense on this play. Looks like they're really, really trying to get that ball into NECA. AT's behind. Again, active hands, able to come up with a deflection. I'll try not to spend 10,000 minutes on this play like the last one.
This one is just, just being a help side and knowing that AT's behind and they're trying to get the ball to NECA. And, you know, if it's one-on-one down there with NECA, it's, you know, she's a tough player. She's going to, you know, make something happen. So just, you know, trying to get that early double team before she has a chance to, you know, survey and find somewhere to score. But just a little nuance at the beginning of just that defensive 3 seconds, trying to like get in and clear out and then get back to the help.
Interesting. Let's go back to that.
So like if technically if LA had better spacing and Nneka was more like on the block on that left side, and I had to go clear out to get out the paint and then come, I might have been a little bit later, but.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you weren't necessarily trapping. You just knew they were trying to get the ball into her in that moment. And
and I mean, she's I would say the best scorer on the floor right now. So definitely want to give AT that help.
I always forget about defensive 3 seconds for some reason. That's a tough one too.
It's really tough.
Like, I feel like I'd be doing like a little hop, skip, and a jump, trying to clear my feet out of that lane line. And oh man. All right, 2 more. We've got a little screen rescreen action here with Dolson. You really drop back here. I mean, look how far back you're playing. That's clearly something you've talked about in the film. There's no reason for you to be up there, right, in that screening action. So then she turns around and rescreens, and that's a trap, right? I mean, that was a scouting report thing. You're trying to trap her. Yeah.
Okay. So this one, the first screen is super high. So I'm back, like I'm dropped super, like if you go back a little bit further. Yeah. Hold on.
I got you.
Yeah.
we don't have synergy, so bear with us.
Yeah. So here the first screen was super high. So I was dropped far off, and I was telling Jazz to get under the first one. Because it was super high. She had all the space to be able to get under. But as the second one gets lower and Sabrina's more in a scoring area because she can shoot from that deep. That's when Jazz, I'm telling her to get over, and I'm gonna come trap with her to try to get the ball out of Sabrina's hands and make somebody else make a play.
That's amazing. So you're actually telling Jazz what to do.
Yeah, I'm telling her to get under here. Because it's high. She has the space. And this one, I'm telling her to get back over, and I'm gonna come screen. I mean, I'm gonna come trap. Yeah. People
don't realize how much is on your shoulders in terms of the communication as a post player, especially in screening action. I mean, if you've been around, if you coached, yes, that's common sense, but you are literally dictating what's happening there in those actions, correct?
Yeah, and they can't see what's happening behind them, and they're focused on pressuring the ball or their defense assignments. So being able to give them that help, that they know that which side the screen is on. That's also another thing. Like you have to tell them which side the screen is on, because that changes, how they set up their feet to force them into the screen or away from the screen, depending on our defensive coverage. So it's definitely tough. It's definitely a lot of communicating. So when the coaches are telling players to communicate, it's important, and you have to be loud.
I'm having flashbacks to my college coach cussing me out for not communicating on ball screens, and my teammates rocked.
But like, that's the thing, like point guards get so much credit for being an offensive floor general. Nobody's talking about the bigs and how important they are defensively and how they're defensive floor generals.
Right. And also like that low person, like the lowest person, they're seeing everything. So even if ball screen coverage on the weak side and like help side, that low person also has to talk so everybody knows what's happening. Cause you can see AT helping on the roll. So like we know we're trapping, but she has to play too. So she has the roll and the weak side. So it's just like everybody is working on a string kind of thing.
Yeah. On a string. I like that. Okay. We've got our last one. This is just a simple baseline drive, rotation. You're able to get there and make a play on the ball. I mean, anyone who did a shell drill growing up as a kid, this is it, but you said you didn't really have hops. You looked like you had some hops on that one.
I keep bringing it out every now and then, probably like once every 3 games. But it just kind of worked out that way. So this one, Courtney went under the first one. She's getting over the top of the second one. Joy is helping until Courtney recovers. And Courtney may have said like, she's back, and that's why Joy left. But I'm watching what's happening, and I can see that, Courtney's still on her hip and Shatori's still attacking. So that's when I know I'm the low person. So I'm the first help. So that's when I know I can come over, and whoever's on the backside is probably telling me that I can go, and that they have my back. So
I love
18's on the backside, yeah. So she's probably telling me I can go.
That's interesting, because Courtney looks a little beat right now.
Right.
But again, she easily.
Okay, but sometimes guards they say they're back and they're not, and you got to be ready to help. Because there's been plenty of situations that like I'm back. I'm like, well, I can still see their numbers, so maybe not.
You were ready. You were ready. You were reading what was going on. Again, I've enjoyed watching you since really college, but it's been so fun to watch you and your growth these last few years in the league. And again, as a former post player, this feels like as I said, heaven. Just your footwork, your hands, your ability to read. I mean, I'm learning something new just sitting here listening to you. We are so happy you were able to talk us through that. Aryeh, you want to go through some rapid fire? Or you got any more questions?
Yeah, I do have a few rapid fire questions. I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to say what award, but I do have you earmarked for a yearly award this year. So break a leg. All right. We got some rapid fire questions for you. Take all the time you need, no rush. But they're very important, very, very important questions. Who's your WNBA GOAT?
WNBA GOAT. That's a tough one.
See, he asks me this every day and I refuse to answer. I just say I'm not answering.
I mean, there's so many, like, why does it have to be just one? But I would have to say my WNBA GOAT would be Cheryl Swoops. You know, she was a pioneer, you know, of this league, so many great things with Houston Comets. So just, I feel like, you know, she was one of the ones that started, and, you know, we're trying to continue that legacy and build it, you know, for the next generation.
I love that. I love that. All right. So you're down 2 with 10 seconds left. You're the coach. All right.
Okay.
Are you going for a 3 to win it or tie the game?
Down 2, 10 seconds left. I feel like we have a play where there's 2 options and you got to make that read. Like, we're going for the 3 if it's open, and if they, you know, 2 players go with the guard, you hit the 2. Yeah, you got to take what defense is giving you, and, you know, we can play through overtime.
First of all, I love it. You answered it such like a coach.
I mean, you said I was the coach.
No, you did it right.
If Breezy's on my team, I'm throwing it down to like 65% in the paint. That's all.
Yeah, percentage wise, you'd almost be dumb not to. But she was in the coach position, so it's all right.
There you go.
What do you get more hyped on? A block or an and one?
I get more hyped on the and one.
Okay.
I just feel like it's an energy play. Also, I feel like I get more hyped on a charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna add that in for the next rapid fire for the next one. Who do you think the biggest trash talker is in the league?
Biggest trash talker in the league.
You can go teammate, former teammate, you know, someone you've never played with.
I'm gonna have to say Diana. I feel like the biggest trash talker in the league by
far. Toughest player you've had to defend? Oh,
Sylvia Fowles. Without a doubt. Like,
no hesitation.
No hesitation, because every year, you know, that matchup, I feel like it's marked, because I know it's going to be a tough one for me. You know, she's such a great player in the paint, and, you know, when she gets the ball in an area that, you know, she can score, it's tough to defend, especially being an undersized post for me. She's definitely been one of the toughest, and she's so strong.
I got one more. Don't end it. I got one more because I'm just loving it. When you were growing up, was there a post player that you kind of idolized or that you kind of studied?
I watched a lot of Tim Duncan. I feel like just his fundamental skills. I feel like for me that was one of the post players that I watched a lot to, you know, try to emulate, try to be, you know, that, you know, I like to.
Man, that's a pretty good one. And we are so thrilled to have you on. We can't wait to see the team this year, the type of year that you're going to have. You have been a joy to watch. So good luck. Thank you so much for taking through the clips and educating us and the fans on everything that you do, your footwork, everything that you bring to the game is so fascinating. We are so blessed to have you. Good luck this season, and we wish you the best of luck.
Okay, thank you so much. It was fun. I had a lot of fun today.
Awesome.